2024 is no more, and 2025 has now taken its place, predominantly because that's how years work. But while 2025 is setting up the furniture the way that it likes, I thought it would be good to make a video looking back at all that 2024 has brought us. This year saw a lot of big things for me personally, including moving into my own house and catching up with One Piece, two events of equal importance. And of course, I broke my own YouTube hiatus so that I could once more inflict all of you with my thoughts on movies, books, TV shows, anime and manga, and any other such thing that I feel like yapping about. In addition, after 13 years on YouTube, 13 years, oh my goodness, I have just recently hit 1,000 subscribers, largely thanks to the insane reaction that my recent video all about One Piece has gotten. I still cannot express how grateful I am to everyone who's turned up from that, and to everyone who's been here for longer, who's been here from the start. Just a huge thank you to everyone. For a channel like me, that is a big milestone and is well worth celebrating. Alright, so let's get into it. Kicking things off with movies. Way back at the start of the year, we had Monkey Man and the Spy Family movie, a double feature for the ages, both of which I really enjoyed. I particularly enjoyed this scene in Monkey Man where Kid braces himself to jump out of the window and instead he just bounces right off of it. That had me in stitches in the cinema. Speaking of monkeys, I also saw the latest Planet of the Apes movie, which I found surprisingly good. I wasn't sure where this franchise had left to go after the death of Caesar in the third movie, but I gotta say, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes was really solid. Now, I've already shared my thoughts on Deadpool and Wolverine, and on top of that, I saw Boy Kills World, The War of the Rohirrim, Longlegs, and finally, the latest Wallace and Gromit movie, Wallace and Gromit Vengeance Most Foul, which aired on Christmas Day. Of those, Longlegs was pretty much the only one I didn't enjoy, and if I had to pick a favourite of the bunch, now this could be recency bias talking, but I mean, I think it's gotta be Wallace and Gromit. This really was just an excellent time. In terms of TV, we had the second season of Arcane, we had the third season of Legend of Vox Machina, both of which were great. We had the fourth and final series of The Umbrella Academy, which was not. And we had the fourth season of The Boys, which I thought was okay. On top of that, while it certainly didn't come out this year was the year that I finally watched Gravity Falls, and mate, I bloody loved it. Music now. Once more bouncing back to the start of the year, we had three behemoths dropping very early on in the year, with Green Day's Saviors, Neck Deep's self-titled, and of course Sum 41's Heaven and Hell, which I think is pretty unequivocally my album of the year. Honourable mentions go to Bayside's There Are Worse Things Than Staying Alive, State Champ's self-titled, and the newly reformed Linkin Park's From Zero. All good stuff. Suffice to say though, Heaven and Hell still pretty much eclipsed everything else that came out this year, and getting to see Sum 41 live on their final tour was everything I could have asked for, other than them just staying together and keeping putting out music, but you know what I mean. In terms of anime and manga, keen-eyed viewers of the channel may have noticed a particular anime has somewhat overshadowed the year for me. I've been getting into a lot of manga and anime over the course of the year, particularly One Piece. What's been keeping me so busy? And that's that I've been watching One Piece. I recently have been doing a lot of what One Piece character are you quizzes. As of the time of this recording, I am 100% caught up on One Piece. But there have in fact been things other than One Piece that have caught my attention this year, if you can believe something as crazy as that. There's also been Demon Slayer, Kaiju No. 8, Dungeon Meshi, My Hero Academia, Mashle, just so much good stuff. Dandadan as well, which I have only just started, so no spoilers please, but I am prepped for it to be one that I will greatly enjoy. On the manga side of things, I've got some full collections that I'm still very much looking forward to cracking open. In particular, the Full Metal Alchemist hardback editions, which I spent quite a lot of 2024 just collecting.
After all these years, finally, we have them all.
I also read Black Torch, which is super cool. Well worth checking out if you are into shonen, cats, or both. The whole thing is a breezy 5 volumes in total, which compared to certain other series I've been getting into really is just a drop in the ocean, so I do recommend it. But similar to how Heaven and Hell eclipsed all the other music stuff, it is safe to say that One Piece has eclipsed all the other anime and manga this year for me. I've already gone into more detail on that in this video, so if you haven't seen that one already, then do check it out. Not only did I break my YouTube hiatus this year, but I brought my myself out of a significant reading slump that I had been in, and I have read John Gwyn's Shadow and or Hunger of the Gods. I have not read Fury yet, but I will get to it. Hannah Kane's God Killer, which may well be my favourite that I've read this year. I finally got around to reading Guards by Terry Pratchett, which was excellent and a nice quick breezy one. I then jumped straight from that into The Once and Future King, which was not a breezy one. I also didn't finish that one, I only read the Sword in the Stone story from it, and I was quite surprised to find out that neither the sword nor the stone get any mention until about 20 pages before the end of the story. I think I will finish The Once and Future King, I'm not gonna DNF it, but I might just read it in stages considering how dense it was, rather than trying to blast through it all in one. And that finally brings me to the book I am currently in the middle of reading, which is the new book in the Shades of Magic series, Fragile Threads of Power by V.E. Schwab. I made a video way back on my thoughts on the original Shades of Magic trilogy. I was surprised to see that there was a new book, but suffice to say I am very much enjoying this one. Once I'm finished with it, there may well be a review for it coming out on the channel. And with that, that brings us to just the life events, the other miscellaneous stuff that I've been getting up to this year or that has happened to me. A second trip to Edinburgh Fringe went down, and while the weather was not as good as the first time around, it was definitely a great trip. I had a lot of fun and the shows were excellent. Foil Arms and Hog's new show and the Tin Can Brothers Solve It Squad were particular highlights. I also had a great time at When We Were Young Festival, seeing Fall Out Boy, My Chemical Romance, among others. I probably would have had a better time if I hadn't been struck down with a cold while I was on the plane on the way there, but nonetheless, I definitely had a good time. Of course, as mentioned, this is the year that I became a homeowner, which is my favourite word in the English language that also contains the word meow. That's obviously been a huge life event and it has been really great. I'm really happy here and I'm happy with this new era and this new chapter of my life. I've once again begun work on my current comic, The Shield. If you didn't know, I write and draw my own comics. There are 5 already done that you can read for free and I will link them in the description. And The Shield is the latest one to be added to the roster. It's not complete yet, but I am very nearly there and you will definitely know when I do finish because I won't bloody shut up about it. Last but not least, I made the aforementioned One Piece video, which really just took on a life of its own near instantaneously. I thought it would do like pretty well, and in my head maybe 100, maybe a couple hundred views, but no! I was not prepared for just how staggering the reception to that video would be. In addition, it has led to a large influx of people finding me, finding my channel and subscribing, which in turn has finally caused me to hit that 1K milestone, which for a channel like mine is a big deal. Now actually ticking over to 1000 didn't technically happen until it was already 2025, but I'm gonna say close enough. And so thank you once more for turning up, for sticking around, for pulling out your deck chair and saying, I like what you've done with the place. Thank you all so much for subscribing to the channel. Thank you all so much for all the recent support. Thank you all so much for watching this video. And as always, I will see you in my next one. Happy New Year.